have Sanjay, who is the founder of ProPath and Selectors Hub. Now, whoever is working in this test automation space, they would know how um, tricky it is to identify web elements and interact with them. So if they are easily identifiable through name and ID and things like that, it's quite easy. But then life is not that easy all the time. So you have to use different mechanisms using the XPaths and then CSS selectors. And with changing technology, of course, automation community also test automation community needs these strong tools which can empower us. And Stack is all about empowering test automation. And then here is speaker for today, Sanjay Kumar, who has done a wonderful job by creating something called Selectors Hub. I've played around with it. It's very powerful, very helpful. And today Sanjay is going to go through his invention and few other convention that we used to follow earlier, and then enlighten us with more information. Okay, over to you, Sanjay.
Thank you, Vikas. Thanks for the great introduction and setup. I really appreciate giving me this opportunity to speak at this meetup and helping people and the community. Hello, everyone. I hope you all are doing good and COVID is not causing issue. Of course, it is causing, but yeah, I hope. Okay, so let me present my screen. My name is Sanjay Kumar. I am the creator of ProPath and Selectors Hub. I have stopped working on ProPath development and support on ProPath almost it's been a year now. So Selectors Hub is the new reality on which I'm working. So today I'm going to talk about it. And yes, of course, I have left my job and working full time only for community. And yes, I'm working for free for community. There's nothing like anything which I'm causing, uh, raising money or anything. Just I'm running on like fund and donation. So yes, I hope because my screen is visible and voice is clear. If yes, then I can like continue.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so here in this session, we will be like discussing most of the things related to XPath and selectors, and we'll see what all things were not possible before, and what has selectors hub has made possible, and what all things we have learned wrong in the past due to lack of innovation, and what we have like the misconception myths we feel, and I will show you guys that what all you think about XPath and selectors that like pretty much the concept for the fundamental concepts were wrong, but we were thinking like okay that is the standards. So yeah, so how important XPath and selectors are in our automation scripts. Selectors and XPaths are as important in our automation script as the tires of a car. If we don't have good tires in our car will not run for long. It may immediately break down. So similarly, if we don't have the good XPath and stable XPath selectors in our automation script, our test case will break in the first execution itself. Then the question comes like how to write XPath and selectors. So like every API, like every automation API, or you say that development API, everything has a lot of functions, right? Like Selenium has an n number of functions. We can't remember all of them. So does the like XPath and CSS selectors have a lot of functions, format. Like you see the standard format. I'm sure pretty much everyone knows this one. That // tag name at the rate attribute is equal to attribute value, and then contains text, XPath with access. Then CSS selectors also have a lot of functions. So to remember all of them is like really hard for anyone. Okay, but still we were like keep remembering those things. Okay, we will have to write our own XPath. We will have to write our own CSS selector, because in interview they will ask us, then we would not be able to write. That was the like keep saying things, and we were trying to remember those things.
Yes, Sanjay. Just sorry for interruption there. There are few people who are only into automated testing, so we can probably give a small understanding of what the text that is visible on their screens are. maybe I'll just give a small talk. Guys, this is the way you can identify elements in automated testing. So it may look a bit clumsy at the moment, but then you identify each of the web elements using a particular uh, class or ID or name and things like that. And then you can use some regular expressions to identify element, uh, to identify, say, a username edit box or password edit box or submit button to interact with them. Yep. So if you have any questions, please free to put it in the chat box or raise your hand just in case. Okay. Thanks, Sanjay.
Yeah, thanks Vikas for this input. Actually, let me explain it some more and to add few more points on that. So on any website, let's say google.com. So what we are talking about here is what is XPath and selectors. So let me make you more understand, give you good better example. Though for those like who are not aware about what is XPath and selectors we are talking about here, it is the address of any web element on this web page. Like you see that on the planet, on the globe, every place has its own address. So to perform anything, like let's say if we were doing this conference like face to face or the real conference it was, if I had to deliver the talk, I had to reach to that place, Melbourne, and then I can deliver the talk, right? But to reach Melbourne, first I need the address of that place to perform the action on that place. So similarly, like on the web, here in the web page, if we have to perform action, let's say we have to click on this element, first we need the address of this element, then we will put our control over here, like basically we will move our mouse here and then we click. So for that we need the address. So like on the globe we need the address of every place to perform action. Similarly on the web we need the address of a element to perform the action. So these address are known as XPath and CSS selector. XPath and selectors, basically there are 8 type of locators. Like on the globe there is a like normal address, then relative address, so like all those things. So that we are talking about here, XPath and CSS selector. Both are the address basically. Now what we were doing in the past, that whatever we were doing, actually it was something like, if you did something and you got the right answer, you thought like, okay, that is the right, but actually those were things wrong. I will show what I mean to say by this. Myths. DevTools provide the right count of selectors match. Everybody, like we all say that we should write our own XPath, we should not use any XPath tool, but actually we all were using an XPath tool in the past, and in fact like today as well we all use an XPath tool. For an example, if we have to get all the links on this page, what we will do, we will do /a here. You see that it gives you that 75 it is showing here, but actually there is not 75 links in this page. This is matching the string /a here. So this is basically a string matching here. It's not the XPath matching. So this myth was like wrong. It was not correct. What we did in the past, we were writing and verifying XPath here in DevTools. That was wrong actually. We have like trainers has taught this, that we should write our own XPath. We should not use any tool, but they never taught us that where to write our own XPath, which is the right platform to write and verify XPath. And this is the one of the region that I did recently, like day before yesterday, one day back, I did this survey on LinkedIn, which is the correct format of XPath, and you see that almost 84% people has given the wrong answer in industry. With the 2,500 votes, 84% people has given the wrong answer. Like nobody has the clear concept of XPath in the industry. Almost like 84% people given wrong answer. Answer is both the XPaths are correct, but due to lack of innovation, due to lack of awareness, people has didn't ever learn that what is the right format, what is the right concept of XPath. So this is a myth which our industry has, that DevTools provides the right count of selectors match. This is not the right count. I will show you. So what is the right count? That verify this in selector sub /a here, there are actually 35 links on this page. If you see that, I hope this is visible. So there are actually 35 links on this page. There are not 75 links on this page. And this is a very frequently asked question in the interviews, that get me all the links on this page. And what people does, like /a, and this is 75. Okay. Then and there itself is the like trainer interviewer says that, okay, thank you, tata, bye bye. And people think like, why we got rejected. So actually, this is not the right platform to write and verify XPath. But people like always they write here only, which is a wrong practice. Actually, this gives the wrong result. And in fact, in case of iframe, if there are iframe as well, they include all of them in the matching nodes. So DevTools is not right platform because it gives you the result with a string match as well, because this works on a string search functionality, doesn't work only for XPath and selectors. While selector sub is the right platform to write and verify your XPath. When DevTools shows 0 matching nodes, it is 100% true. No, this is not true. Many people think that when DevTools shows 0 matching node, let's say we have written some XPath over here. For an example, if we write XPath for this field, here let's say ID is there. Okay, so what we will do Command F, and how do we write XPath? /input @ID is equal to username. Here it is showing 0 of 0, though this is correct XPath. So when DevTools shows 0 of 0, this is actually not the correct, this is not right. It is showing wrong actually, though we have written the correct XPath. Or let's say we write the CSS selector here for this field. So CSS selector is like how we write CSS selector, hashtag ID value. So copy this value and hashtag put this, and it is nothing, it is showing. So basically we are not able to verify this 0 of 0. So when DevTools shows 0 matching nodes, it is not true actually. But these both the concept we were thinking that right. Like those who are not aware about it, they think that this is both the sentence are right, but actually these both are wrong. DevTools generates the correct XPath for all the web elements. So like if we right click and copy this XPath, before that let me show you how the same this XPath, whatever we have typed here, whatever selectors, hashtag username we have typed, right? Hashtag username we have typed. If you enter, you see that one element matching. That was the right CSS selector we were typing here. And XPath we typed here, that was hashtag /input @ID is equal to username.
I think I got a question.
Actually, that XPath doesn't support Shadow DOM. So that is the reason that it was showing 0. But DevTools never gives that information. And due to that, we have learned something wrong.
Sorry, Sanjay, if you could just highlight on what is Shadow DOM a bit, because some people may not be knowing that. So,
yes, don't worry. I will come to that. I just wanted to highlight these misconceptions, and after that, like I will be explaining. So first, I thought like I will explain to those people who have knowledge about like XPath, and then I will explain each and everything in details. I just wanted to tell people what they have learned wrong in the past and what are the misconceptions people have in the industry, due to which this happened yesterday, that almost like everybody has this wrong concepts. So yeah, I will explain that. So now we have the selectors of which help, this innovation will help you to write and learn about all about XPath. You just like keep using this is a guide itself to help you to teach all about XPath and selectors. You don't need any trainer, you don't need me to tell you about what will be the XPath for this element, what is this element, whether it is inside Shadow DOM, whether it is inside iframe, what kind of XPath you can write, what selectors you can write. Everything this tool itself will teach you. You don't need me that what this element is all about. So everything selectors will teach you. Now let me show you how. So how you can write the XPath. Okay, So let's say google.com, will start with very basic, and you want to write an XPath for this field. So like I have told you that there are like n number of XPath function. I cannot teach you in like just a small half an hour session that what all XPath functions are there, CSS selector functions are there, right? But this tool will teach you each and everything about XPath and CSS selector, how at least very basic functionality you would be knowing initially when you will start writing XPath and learning about XPath, that you will know that you have to type // for XPath. You will have to start with // and for CSS selector you will start with tag name. So as soon as you start typing here // you will see that it will automatically start suggesting you the XPath and along with their matching occurrence, and this is what you have to type. Select this one, then you know that after tag name you have to type open square bracket. So you type that. Now it will suggest you all possible XPath functions. So you will learn from this that okay, @ attribute name is equal to attribute value, @ attribute name attribute value. There is a contains functions as well. So you will learn from here itself that what all possible functions are there. So now you don't need a guide like me, or no, you don't need a trainer that who will teach you that what kind of how to write an XPath, what kind of XPath functions are possible for this particular element, and whether this is inside iframe, shadow DOM, all those things you will get from here itself. Let's say you inspect this element and you have to write an XPath for this field. Now you don't know how to write XPath, what all things could be possible, whether you can use this one, whether you can use this, which attribute you can use. Okay, if you want to build your own XPath, you just start typing here. It will suggest you all the possible functions along with their occurrences. So you see that. So you would be able to write and learn your own XPath. As well as you see that it also suggests you that this is the CSS selector for this element, this is the XPath for this element, name, class name. You can use any of these locators in your automation script. So it gives you the auto generated as well as you can write and learn your. And the good thing about it, like if you will make any mistake while writing or doing, let's say you missed this thing, it will help you with that what you have missed, close square bracket is missing, so that you will be able to do it. If you will do anything wrong, like let's say you have written something like this, it will let you know that what you have missed it, what you are doing wrong here. So after close square bracket only // so this will help you automatically, like anything you will do wrong here. Suppose if you would have done this thing wrong here, you would never be able to learn what wrong you have done here. So this tool will help you itself that what wrong you are doing, what right you are doing, what you should do, what you should not do. Everything it will tell you. And what is possible, what is not possible, that also it will tell. It will also highlight that particular element which will be matching. It will show all the matching nodes here. Let's say you want all the links on this page, you // a here, and then you see here, it will show all of them here. It will highlight them in different color, first matching node in yellow, then rest of the like in blue color. If that element will be hidden somewhere, if you will scroll on this element here, it will show in scroll to viewable area and show in red, highlight in red color. So all those functions are there, those good features are there. For that you can refer the detailed video tutorial to learn more about it. I will be explaining the top level features and how to use and how to do things. So this is really helpful when you will be building your XPath and learning your all about selectors. Here you will get the instruction as well. You see that type // for XPath, and for CSS selector type hashtag for ID, dot for class, or tag name. So this is really simple, really easy. It is self-explanatory and it will tell you everything. Then how to write like shadow DOM, selectors for shadow DOM, and what is shadow DOM. So let me tell you, like till date, there is before selectors hub, there was nothing to write and verify selectors for shadow DOM. People were wasting almost a day of time to write and verify selectors for shadow DOM.
Yeah, I can guarantee that.
Yes, and actually, like if you want to test it, just take this website URL and try to just write an simple test case to enter these two fields, value in these two fields. it might take whole day, and at some point of time you might just give up, like, okay, I won't be able to do. And this happened actually. This happened with myself as well. Like it was like really impossible, because if you write like selector for this one and if you have to verify that one, you will scratch your head that why this selectors is not working, though you have written the right selector, right XPath. You will never be able to easily understand. You see that it is showing 0 of 0, though this is right selector for this field with the concept, like if you are writing CSS selector. So this element, first of all, you don't get to know if you don't have the knowledge of DOM, that this is inside shadow DOM. What are shadow DOM? Shadow DOMs are actually partial DOM, which will be always attached to an actual element of the parent DOM, and they doesn't exist without an actual DOM. So if you want to read more about shadow DOM, I would really recommend that you just Google about it, the definition, and to understand. But if I tell you that in simple term, whenever you find an element inside this kind of shadow root, open or close, there are two types. So if you find your element inside this shadow root, that means that element is inside shadow DOM. And now the concept is the element which are inside this shadow root, we cannot write XPath for them. We cannot access them using XPath. We will have to use CSS selector. So if we write XPath, that will not work. But if we are writing CSS selector here, then also it will not show. So you will be really worried. So for that, you just open selectors up and you see the magic here. It is telling you that this is inside shadow DOM. One concept cleared. Okay, this is inside shadow DOM. So you will have to write a script in a different way. And another important point is that we cannot access the shadow DOM element the way you write the automation script for the normal web element, like driver.find element by.css selector. No, that way you can't handle. There is a specific script you will have to write for to access the shadow DOM element. So this selector sub will tell you that this element is inside shadow DOM, and for such element XPath won't support. This is the CSS selector for that input. These are the possible things. So you will use this one. Now the script, the complete script selector sub will give you to handle that element, because to handle this element we will have to write the first we will have to access the shadow root host element. For this shadow root, this is the host element. For this shadow root, this is the host element. So we will have to access all those shadow root host element, and then we will have to access this element. And actually you see that this is inside nested shadow DOM. This is another level of challenge. There are some, like normal shadow DOM element, then there are nested shadow DOM. So you see that this element is inside this shadow root, then this shadow root is inside this shadow root, this shadow root is inside this shadow root. So there are multiple shadow DOM, which is like nightmare to handle manually. But selector sub will let you know that this element is inside 4 nested shadow DOM, and this is the complete script to handle that element. Now you can directly copy this script, paste it in your editor. So if you have, like here I have opened that website and I'm pasting this script. So this is the complete script. It is written in Selenium and Java. This is giving and using JavaScript. So here, if you want to, now you want to enter some value on that particular field. Let's say you want to enter selector sub. Just press save and execute this. So this will, what it will do, it will open that website, access all the shadow root, then access that particular element and enter the value. So this is where selector sub helps you a lot. You see that it has entered value. And I can challenge you that you try it manually. If you take the less than 1 hour, less than at least 1 day to just access these 2 elements, then please let me know that we were able to do it like quickly. It really takes a lot of time. So this is where it helps a lot to access these such kind of shadow DOM elements. And if you write, and if you do anything wrong, let's say you start typing here XPath, then it will tell you that this is XPath doesn't support for shadow DOM. All those things you would be able to learn from here. Then SVG elements. There are certain kinds of elements which are for which standard XPath doesn't support. Like this element, if you see that, this is an SVG element. If you right click and copy the XPath from DevTools and try to verify, you see that it is showing 0 of 0. Now let me paste the same XPath here in selector sub, and let selector sub teach you whether it is right or not. So it tells you that invalid SVG XPath format. So this is not the right XPath format. And trust me, for this also I did one survey, and almost 80% people in our industry doesn't know that this is a wrong format and how to write the SVG XPath. Selector sub will let you know that this is the right format of XPath and this is the XPath for this element. You see that we cannot write /SVG. We will have to write like this way: /star local name is equal to SVG. And even if you start typing here, it will tell you the right format and right syntax. Press enter. If you want to make it unique, put cursor in the beginning, open parenthesis, and then select this. This is how. So this gives you, this is how you can build actually with the indexes as well, unique XPath. And here it gives you everything. So this is how you write the XPath for SVG. iframe and nested iframe. Yes, it supports iframe and nested iframe. Very easy way. Suppose you inspect this element, and you see that it is really tough to identify whether that element is inside iframe and not, and then write the XPath for iframe. A lot of time wasted. You just open selector sub here, and you will see the magic. Here it tells you that this element is inside iframe, in frame, and this is the frame XPath, and this is the XPath for the inspected element. So it has made your task really easy. Now you have the XPath for iframe, XPath for that element. Directly switch inside this and this. That's all you have to do. You can just click here to copy and go back to your editor, and then you can start typing here the driver.find element, right, like this, and by.xpath, XPath value. And that's it. Whatever you want to do, you can perform the actions here. This made so easy. And if the element is inside multiple iframe, that also it has made possible. You just inspect the element, it will let you know that this element is inside how many iframe, and the XPath for all the iframes and element. This was never possible in the past, that you would never, there was nothing to verify XPath which is inside multiple iframe, like not even from this DevTools. So this is really helpful. It tells you that this element is inside 2 nested frames. This is the XPath for first frame. This is the XPath for second frame, and this is the element XPath. So first switch inside this, then this, then this. Also, there's a very good feature that right now, when you copy this XPath and go to your script, you have to type this command, right? You need not to actually type this command as well. What if like complete command you got from selector sub? There's a button like set driver command. Click on this, you can paste this value, replace this XPath with XPath value keyword, and press enter. You see that now you got the complete command. Just click on this, go back, and you see that now we need not to do. Inspect any element now, you will get that complete script. Copy this, go back and paste. That's all you have to do. This is really, and there are like lots of amazing feature which is not even possible like without this. So it is a huge time saver. You can just explore these features, you will get to know. Suppose let's say if any element you have inspected and it has generated XPath with like class it is generating, you doesn't want with class, uncheck this, it will generate with something else. So that also it helps. If any element which is generated, and if that selector sub will feel that if that is a dynamic element, it will suggest you that this element is dynamic, alert icon. Class looks dynamic, uncheck the class. You can uncheck this. If you want to generate XPath with a specific attribute, any specific attribute you want, let's say here you want to generate XPath with here it is generating with title search, but you want with area label, you can pass your attribute name here like area label, hit enter. You see that it is generating with your attribute. So lots of amazing features are there. If you want to use just as an editor, you doesn't want to see all of them, you can turn it off. If you don't like here now you see that it get auto generate. You don't want auto generate, auto suggest, you can keep it off. Like now if you write, you will not get auto suggest, that interruption. You can use it as an editor, simple editor. So lots of amazing features are there. You want to convert this XPath, like you see that S is capital, but you want to write the XPath or CSS selector case insensitive, like small s. In that case also it should work. Let's say you want to change it to small s, but right now it is showing 0, but you want to make it work. there's a feature. Click on this. It will convert your XPath as a case insensitive XPath. Now you see that small s it is working. You see that this is CSS selector.
Sorry, Sanjay, could you please go a little slow? I think it's a bit even.
Oh,
Bit slow, like
sure.
I'm sure you are like totally. I blindfold you. You can tell where is what, but
yes.
did I miss that? Please. Yeah.
Sure. I'm sorry. I will even I thought like, okay. Sure. So what I was saying here is that if we have to convert any XPath to like case insensitive XPath, so here like S is capital, but if we make it small s, then in that case it will not work. So if we have to make it case insensitive CSS selector or case insensitive XPath, there is a button here. You see that? Click on this, then it will change. Now if you hit enter, it will find one matching node. So with the help of selector sub, you can convert your XPath and CSS selector to case insensitive XPath and selector. Then this is an attribute filter. You want to customize UI, you can customize UI as well. You can add the command as well. Like you just here, if you don't know how to add the command, you can mouse over here and you see that it will show the instruction. As well as there's a video tutorial given on the YouTube channel. So here, if you don't find this, you will see that there is a watch video tutorial, and you go here in the selector sub channel. So here, watch the video tutorial detail, as well as there will be like more video to explain each and every feature, so that you can check it out here. That will help you a lot to learn more about it and to make the best use of those selectors. So please watch those video tutorial for each and every feature. It will save a tremendous amount of time once you will be like able to use, and it's very simple and straightforward to use. Nothing like if you want to hide everything, whatever you are seeing it here, you can keep it off, make it really clean, whatever as per your convenience, and just inspect the element. You will get the all the possible selector along with their details. Now here, if you see that suppose we have to get all these headers value, we have to get all these header value here. Okay, so what we do, like to get the header values, currently what we will do, we will inspect one by one, right? Like we will inspect this, copy this XPath value, go back to editor, paste that, and then add the command. Again, inspect this element, copy this block thing, and copy this block thing, paste it here, type that command. So one by one we will have to do. Can we do it like in single sort? Basically generate multiple selectors in single sort. Yes, there's an option to generate multiple selector. Click on this. Now you just inspect these elements one by one, and you see that everything is getting generated here in selector sort. And this you can directly copy, and in single sort you can paste it here in your script and do whatever you want. You can also get the complete command itself. Turn on this, and you see that you got the complete command. Click on this, and you see the magic that your script is ready. Whatever you want, you can do it here. Simple. As well as like you can export this in XLS file as well. You can export that. So that is also possible. So this is going to make your life really simple and easy. And this command could be anything. Like if you are using Cypress, you are using Protector, any technology, any automation API you are using, you can convert this. Like if you have the command something like this, find element, you can hit enter. That command, only thing you have to do that wherever is XPath, replace that with XPath value keyword, and simple. There are certain really good feature here. Let's say you can again click on that and go back here. Also, you will see that here you want like here is the watch video tutorial link, everything is given, so please check it out here in the footer. There are let's say you want to generate the XPath here. If you will see that it is generating with single quote, you want to generate with double quote, there's an option, click on this, it will generate with double quotes now. So there could be some people that want, but yeah, mostly people generate in with single quote, so you can keep it as single quote. This is another really good feature, debugger mode. let's say you have some website, some drop down elements which you are not able to inspect manually. Trust me, there are certain elements which we cannot, with a bare hand, you cannot be able to inspect them. Like if you right click on this, they immediately disappear. We cannot inspect them. So such kind of drop downs, like you cannot inspect them, those drop downs. You see this one, if you inspect from here, they immediately disappear as soon as you click somewhere. So how to inspect such kind of dynamic drop down elements? There is a feature this here in Selectors Hub. Turn on this debugger feature and now make it appear, this drop down appeared within 5 seconds, and then you will see that you would be able to inspect this. Now inspect this element. You see that Selectors Hub will generate the XPath, as well as you would be able to inspect that element here. This is the XPath, so you can directly use it in your script, and this Selectors Hub only made it possible. Earlier it was not possible, and it was almost impossible to inspect such elements, such dynamic elements, which you can't inspect and like locate without having the good knowledge on JS. Similarly, like there are many more scenarios which were impossible, like this drop down, writing drop down for accessing drop down, then sub menu, then options. All those things are possible with Selectors Hub. I have shown you guys, like if anything wrong in your selectors XPath, Selectors Hub will help you with that. So, and these are like really amazing features and the reasons that why everyone needs this Selectors Hub and everybody is loving Selectors Hub. Security, it is absolutely secure plugin. It doesn't save any of your user data. It runs only on your local. So if you like in many companies, people say that it is extensions are not allowed. So if you go to this Selectors Hub website here, and if you in website as well, it is declared that it is absolutely secure. As well as if you go to Chrome Store here in Selectors Hub, under Privacy Practices tab, you will see that publisher has disclosed that it will not collect your user data. So this you can show it to your team if it has been blocked, extensions are blocked in your company. So you can show it to your admin team. Here on selectorshub.com, go to Chrome or any of the browser store, and there in this privacy tab you will see this information of the privacy practices. Does it slow down your browser? No, it doesn't slow down your browser. It's very less in the size, almost like 250 KB, very like 3-4 times smaller in the size compared to other browser extensions. This is absolutely free plugin, and not everybody yet aware about this innovation. So I would really request you, please share, write blog articles, tutorials on this. And this is the only tool which is like the next gen XPath and selectors tool. If you are using CrowPath or any of your team member using CrowPath, you can let them know that this is the new tool from the CrowPath creator, and I have stopped development and support on CrowPath, so you will not find any support or any feature update on CrowPath from my side. And this is absolutely free plugin, free product from me, and I would really request you, like if you find it useful in your job, please be Patreon and support. There is a Patreon link in the Selectors Hub tab itself, so you can just click on this and it will take you to the Patreon page, and please be Patreon and support, because this is the only source of income for me, the bread and butter. And this is the right now my income from like last 1 year. I'm just earning 100 or like less than $100 per month. So yes, but yeah, still I'm keeping motivated myself to work hard for community and not joining any company. Here are some of the achievements of Selectors Hub. It won the Indian Achievers Award for 2020, being used in like more than 130 countries. It's just been I guess almost around 8 months or 9 months for Selectors Hub now. #1 XPath and Selectors tool in all the browser store. It start appearing in LinkedIn profile, more than 40,000 active users. Engineers calls it lifesaver. All the trainers and everyone suggest this to use. Huge thanks to all the sponsors of Selectors Hub, Test Project, CPSAT, Hexawise, Curiosity, and everyone. How to install Selectors Hub and use. So use I have shown you guys. To install it, go to selectorshub.com here, and whichever browser you want to install. So except Safari, it has the similar functionality on all the browsers. So you can use on any other browser. On Safari, it has little bit different functionality. So for that, I would recommend you to please watch the video tutorial and use it there. And yes, because that's an Apple word, so yes, it is a different way to use extension on Safari browser. So I would highly recommend you to try it on that there as well. For Chrome, just click on this and this button will be add to Chrome. So click on that add to Chrome and accept that. After that, click on add to whatever you pop-up comes. Please accept that and it will be added here. Once it is added, you will see that this kind of icon will be there, but selector sub logo will not be visible. Click on this and then click on this pin to toolbar. After adding this, I would really request open in new tab google.com or any website. Don't try it on like blank tab like this. That if you will try on this, you will, when you will inspect and open selectors hub. So selectors hub will, by default, it will not be visible for you here. You will see that elements tab here on the left side, but selectors hub tab is not visible. Selectors hub tab will be here on the right side of elements tab. It will be as a sidebar. Double arrow are there. You see that these two. Click on this. Selectors hub will be the last tab, or else expand it. And if you doesn't find, I would request you to please follow the video tutorial or see the screenshot where it is, and then you will see. So here you see that it is not working because this is a blank tab. Selector sub or any extension doesn't work on blank tab. Please open google.com. There should be a URL in the address bar. If you will open google.com, then it will work like champ. So if you want, you can install it now. I will wait for a minute. So if you face any challenge or any problem, I would be more than happy to help you. So if you guys are adding it, then I can wait for a minute.
Is anyone trying to use it right now or install it?
Yeah, I've tried to install the extension on my browser. Yeah, I think it's working fine. I'm able to see something there.
Okay, perfect. Then another good feature here is a like very time saver feature. Like you need not to even open selector sub directly. You can right click and copy the selector value from here itself, copy XPath. And you see that right now you will find it only one relative XPath is showing. You can customize the context menu. Here on the extension logo, click on this. There will be, you see that it is options are there. You can customize this. Whatever selectors you want in the context menu, that you can choose from here. And now if you right click, you will see that you would be able to see all of them. So whichever selector you want, you can copy from directly from right click. This feature is really helpful in this kind of situation where you are not able to inspect these drop down value. So now here you right click and copy the selector value. But if you would try to inspect that, you won't be able to inspect this element. This will disappear from the DOM as soon as that close. So in this case, this right click context menu option is lifesaver and it's like really amazing, which made it possible to write selectors for such kind of drop down and sub menu. Here are some pro tips. XPath based on attribute presence. So like if we have to get all those XPath or whatever, like let's say elements which are having some kind of element value. Let's say if we have to get all those links in this page which has href attribute. So suppose A, how many A are there? 389 are there. And how many links are there which has href attribute? 384. So that means there are 5 such links in this page which are broken, which doesn't have href. So if you are doing manual testing, then you can immediately find those links in this page which doesn't have href link, which is the mandatory attribute href. So this is really helpful. Get the attribute value through XPath. So if suppose someone asks you, get me all the links in this page, you can directly /a/@href, and you will get all the links value on this page. So this is really helpful in web scraping and in fact like manual testing. Get XPath, write XPath based on text availability. Suppose we have to get all the links on this page or all the headers in this page which has the text. So how do you write that a kind of XPath? /a/tag name /text and hit enter. You see that you will get all the text of links. So here these are the links. There are 344 links in this page which has the text, and these are the text of those links. So this is really helpful. Fetch text through XPath. Yeah, I would highly recommend you guys, like whatever you have learned and what knowledge you have, do get this certification done here on selectorshub.com. There is a certificate. This is absolutely free, so don't worry about that. Just fill this information and take this quiz. On scoring, I guess 60% marks, you will get this certificate for free. And whatever you have learned and whatever XPath knowledge you have, that you will be able to revise, and you will definitely love this challenge. More than 1,000 people has taken this certification, and amazing feedback out there in the LinkedIn and Twitter, you can see. And that's all pretty much from my side. With that, thank you so much, everyone. And my heartfelt gratitude and big thanks to Vikas for hosting this event. And you can reach out to me here anytime for any kind of queries. Now I'll be taking all your queries, whatever questions are there.
Yes, thanks, Sanjay, for wonderful session. So the floor is open for the Q&A. So there are quite a few questions in the chat window itself. John is asking, like, is it what all languages does it support?
It supports all the languages. So no matter like in which technology your application is written, no matter what automation API you are using, it works on every technology: Selenium, Cypress, Python, Java, what tech automation API you are using, what language you are using for JavaScript, everything it works. Angular, React, Protector, everything it works. So basically, if your application you are able to open in the website in the Chrome browser or in any browser, it will work for that. So let me just go through this from the questions of chat.
Yeah, just the question was more when you were generating like the JavaScript code for the Shadow DOM, for example, the Java code. So what other programming languages will it generate?
Yes. So as I mentioned, it generates the script for Shadow DOM. That default script is generated with Java and Selenium.
Right.
But the good thing is it gives you all the host CSS selector for all the Shadow root host. So in that case, that you can with that help you can just convert that code. So here, if you see that it gives you, okay, let me show here in the code. It has generated this kind of code. So basically, like in any technology, if you are writing your automation script, you need this one. This part you need in any technology. This CSS selector for host. After that, rest of the thing is same. Rest of the thing will be your language and technology convention. So this you will have to like little bit, because this function will be almost pretty much same. Somewhere in some API it will be driver.find_elements, and this JavaScript executor will be same in every technology. Rest, like a small convention you have to use. So yes, that's a good question. Currently for Shadow DOM, it just support for Java and Selenium. It gives you the default code for on Java and Selenium. I'll be adding more support to give that like this code in different technology for different technology as well. But currently for Shadow DOM, it gives the Java Selenium code. Rest, you whatever, if you enter the command here, that command could be in any technology, like find element. I guess if I'm not wrong, in Python or something, they used to write like find _by_xpath, someone write like this. So in that, those all things you can write it here like this way. And this could be anything.
Great, thanks.
Sure, you're
Basically,
welcome.
currently it supports Java only, but then you can.
No, not like this way. Not we should not say that this way, that it is supporting Java only. Only in case of Shadow DOM, it gives you the code, that sample code in Java and Selenium. Only in case of Shadow DOM. In other cases, you can generate code in any technology. Like the command could be anything, because in no matter whether you are using Java or Python or any Ruby or any technology, you need XPath and selectors. So it gives you the selectors and it gives you the XPath. Adding command on that could be any command that you can enter. So like I showed you the instruction, that way the instruction for the command could be anything.
Right, makes sense. So basically, it gives the XPath, you can customize it on your needs.
Yes. So because what happened, like nobody used the standard syntax which we write. Like everybody has customized their own framework. So that is the reason that I have given the capability that you just enter your command, whatever format you have, and wherever you have written XPath, just replace that with XPath value keyword and press enter. It will generate XPath as per your framework, the command as per your framework.
Any other questions? Anyone?
I'm just looking at the questions. I guess I haven't answered all the questions. So Silpa is asking, in inspect, when we right click, we have option to copy XPath based on the element locator in Chrome. So yes, Silpa, that as I showed you guys, that that thing doesn't work in every case. So like for an example, if this element, if you right click and copy XPath, this one, let's say this XPath is wrong, it doesn't work in, you see that this is 0 of 0. If you copy a CSS selector, what you get from Chrome DevTools directly, that doesn't work. And in case like wherever possible, if you get XPath, that XPath you can't use in your script. Let's say this one, you see that what absolute XPath it gives for this element, which you cannot use it in your script. The XPath which you get from selector sub, you see that this is the XPath which you will use it in your script. And the kind of CSS selector which you got from browser DevTools. Sorry, let me copy this. Selector. You see that such a long CSS selector you are getting from browser DevTools, which you will never use. So it is never recommended that the XPath and CSS selector which browser DevTools gives that you use. No, that is never recommended. You will never use this XPath. You will always want to use this one. I always go to console and type $x my XPath and it gives the correct result. Control F is find tool. No, not widget. This will not give you always the correct this one. Let me show you why. $x, this one you are saying, right? You go here. Let's say for this one, div container. Okay, here, if we have to write XPath for this element, let me show you in both the cases. /div @class. The region, like initially I showed those myth, that is the region that you were getting the result right. That was okay. Yes, you will get the right number of count, but there was situation where actually though that is not a standard. It is just like you just got the right answer for your XPath. That is the only thing. You see that it is showing 6 matching node for this element which we are inspecting, this one here. Now we will keep trying to inspect make the XPath unique here, though this is unique XPath. Let me put it here. You see that one element matching. Now let's come here and see this one. We wanted XPath for this element, this particular element here. Okay, so you said like $x and put this XPath value here. You see it is showing 3 matching node here. So this is not every time you will get the correct value. And in fact, in case of like this Shadow DOM, if you go and try to verify, that will also not work. Like you will have to write the CSS selector in that case for this element. And the way you verify CSS selector here in console, you try to verify $x and then put the CSS selector value, that will not work. So actually whatever you got, that is okay, you got the right answer, but that is not always true. Even in yes, even in console, that is not always true. I hope you got that answer. What kind of website use Shadow DOM elements? What kind of websites? So it depends on their requirement. Whoever wants to whoever wants to use. Generally, I can, like, in short, I can say that it is used for security purpose and some other regions as well. That's a like quite a long topic to discuss. Nowadays, Shadow DOMs are becoming a standard design standard. Many companies are using them. Yes, are other language supported? So yes, in case of Shadow DOM, it gives the sample code in Java and Selenium, but otherwise it supports all the languages and everything. Web design standard, I did, and it's working like a champ.
Yeah, that was Vijay who installed it on his machine, and then eventually he acknowledged, like initially he was saying how the dev tools works good, but then after using your tool, he's saying, yeah, it really works like a champ.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So yep, I guess that's pretty much. If you guys have any question, feel free to ask me. And anytime if you like, if you don't have now and later you get a question, so there in the Selectors Hub channel, here in Selectors Hub itself, you will find that Slack channel link is there. You can connect with me here. So I'm Selectors Hub community is very much active here. So you can feel free to connect me if you have any idea, any feedback. I'm more than happy to help you and answer if you have any feedback. Really means I will be implementing that in Selectors Hub. So yeah, and I would really request you guys, if you like this, please give 5-star rating and share Selectors Hub with other people, and help them to know about this amazing innovation, because people is still not aware about, and they are just doing writing selectors in bad practice in a wrong way.
Guys, any other questions? Anyone? I have something. So this is not open source, right?
Yes, Vikas. So right now it's not open source. It's absolutely free, no license required. I'm working on that. Yes. So this is one of the reason, like I didn't make couldn't make it yet open source, because there was like certain things happen in Cropa. So I learned a lot from there, like what all things we have to do in industry, and how we should make any tool or any product open source. Not just like that, okay, put it in open source, because yeah, there are certain things we have to take care of that. It's just like a wording that everybody is like very habitual, open source, but when a product becomes open source, not actually anybody, not everyone immediately start what to say, that contributing or something like that. It's just that it becomes really complicated to maintain and other stuff, like a really bug free product if you make it open source. So that's another, lots of things are there actually. Yeah, I would say.
And like, are you using JavaScript to write the code behind the scenes?
Yes. Every extension, every browser extension is developed on JavaScript only.
Right. Okay. And any cheat sheets by any chance, like that you have created, which helps people to
Yes. That is there. So like if you are writing any XPath, and if you did a mistake, there's a link here. So if you click on this, this is a cheat sheet. Here you will find all the like possible functions, errors, everything. So I keep updating it here, so you can check it out here. As well as link will be here in the footer. Like you will find that frequently asked question, and you will learn more about it here. So please do check out these footer links as well. So you will get a lot of things to know.
Any other question, guys? Anyone? Darren, I see. John, Jyoti, Nagi, Namita.
Glad to know about that, Silpa. Thank you.
Any other question? Juan, Sunil, Urvashi. Anybody who thinks like this? This is something that will help in your work at the moment.
I would highly recommend you guys that you can install from here, and really recommend this to take this certification program, because this will help you to whatever you have learned and what XPath knowledge and selectors knowledge you have, that you will like revise from this certification. And it's absolutely free, and you can read the feedback about this in LinkedIn. So many people has shared the selectors of certificate, so you will be inspired from that. And you can see that so many people has already taken, and this is really good certification program, and people are loving it.
Yeah, I've got a comment. I spent a lot of time working on REST APIs, and I'm back at REST APIs now. And before that, I was doing UI automation with Test Complete, which didn't use CSS selectors at all. So I had a short gig that was, using Java and CSS and XPath, and I really didn't have any clue, but I used using CrowPath, which looks like the forerunner to what you've got here. Just the learning curve was awesome. It was just such a it was. I don't know what I would have done without it. Really, it was just completely awesome. So yeah, I'm looking forward to my next UI gig and using this one. So yeah, it was great.
Thank you, John. Yeah, definitely it will help you a lot. Yes, yeah, it is a lot better, and I would say like 1,000 times better than CrowPath. Yes, yeah. In CrowPath there was not a learning curve, and that was not supporting Shadow DOM, and a lot of things were not there. But yes, this is a next gen and innovation, so which will definitely help you a lot and will save a lot of time in learning. And yeah.
So no other questions, no more questions, I believe. When I asked like anybody who will be using this in current scenario, whom it's going to help, nobody raised hand. I would raise my hand.
Definitely, I would love to try that. In my current company, they use standard test ID like for all the element locators, so I don't have to hustle around finding element locators, because that's something which is consisting and not making it flaky test. But yeah, for sure, probably in the next project, I'm looking forward to use it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Namita.
Thanks, Sanjay.
So thank you so much, Sanjay. That was a wonderful session. I'm sure that will save a lot of time for a lot of automation testers out there and manual testers out there who have been busy, creating those complex XPaths, CSS selectors. And then this tool definitely comes in handy. Like not only me, but then other automation testers and manual testers have vouched for that.
Yep.
So we're definitely looking forward to use it on a daily basis. We'll definitely give a 5-star. And if anybody has anything, please donate to such wonderful causes. Sanjay is doing wonderful. It's a great service to the automation community, Sanjay. I really thank you for that. Really a great service. And you are hitting what do you call a nail on the head. So because that's where most of the automation testers are spending more time on. And then if tools like these can, cut our duration there, we can focus more on designing automation framework better rather than just identifying the elements.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. So thank you so much, Sanjay, and thank you all for joining in, taking your time off to join this wonderful session. Please do rate his work, Selectors Hub, install it, use it. And also, please share your comments on LinkedIn or meetup.com on that we had. How did you find it? So that it will, open up space for future people. I'll make this recording available not anytime soon because I want people who didn't join to be left out. But then, not really. I'll make it available eventually. But then, thank you for taking time off and joining in. And yeah, happy automation testing and happy testing all went through. Yeah. Thanks, Sanjay, so much.
Thank you so much, Vikas. Thank you so much, everyone, for your lovely comments and for joining today. Thank you. Have a good day. Be safe. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.